Hello everyone watching this video. Welcome back to our channel, and today I'm going to be sharing with you about motivating employees, which is part of the second section of our syllabus, People in Business. Let us see what this topic has for us. So this topic, you need to understand the following: the reasons why people work, and define also the term motivation. You need to analyze the benefits of a well-motivated workforce, and also explain the theories of motivation and also the methods of motivation, which can either be the financial or non-financial methods, and be able to recommend and justify the appropriate method or methods of motivation to be given in different circumstances. So let us begin by defining the term motivation. It is simply the reason why employees want to work hard and effectively for the business. You can also say it is the willingness and satisfaction of a worker to work harder to improve their performance. So that's how you can define the term motivation. Let's now go on the next part, where we talk about the reasons why people work. The first one here, it can be money. People or employees, they want money, either a good salary or a wage. Secondly, job security. Thirdly, job satisfaction. And fourthly, self-esteem. And fifth point there is social needs. Some, they simply want to interact with others. All right, let's talk about the importances of motivation. The first one here is satisfaction. Employees, they want to be satisfied with their job, and that reduces friction amongst the workforce and also means less time is taken off work because they enjoy doing their job. And secondly, increased productivity. The moment employees are motivated, they are going to be willing to work harder, even also to produce more output. That will become possible. And thirdly, the quality of the products they will produce is going to be improved. Why? Because they are satisfied with their job they are doing, so they will take a responsibility for their part of the production process. And also effective communication. You're going to see that you are going to express yourself as an employee well if you are motivated. Even if the manager gives you actually some feedback that you may not like, but you accept it and make corrections effectively. So there will be a two-way communication with the management. Suggestions will be shared to improve the quality of the products with no conflicts amongst them. And also, next thing is about easy change process. If the business decides to introduce any change in the business, the employees will be very much willing to accept the change. It can be the new working methods, maybe they're introducing some new machines to use in their business. Employees will quickly or easily take in or accept that change because they are motivated. And next thing is about low labor turnover. That is simply the number of employees who are leaving the organization in relation to those who are joining. So less people or less workers are going to leave the organization if they are motivated, but they will stay even for more years. And next one is the low rates of absenteeism. All right, the moment employees are motivated, they are going to try by all means to be available at work. Even if they are sick, they will be present for them to perform their roles in the organization. That reduces also the disruption when it comes to the process of production, which can be caused by the absence from work. And also low rates of strike action. That will also be avoided or reduced at all costs. Why? Because employees are well motivated. So damage to customer relations will be minimal or will be next to 0 in such a case. Why? Because employees are motivated. So there are theories of motivation that we can talk about. Let's first talk about the first one here, F.W. Taylor, Frederick Taylor. This theorist here put across a simple or a very much simplistic theory, which says that if the workers are paid more, they will work more effectively. So to him, actually, he assumed workers were motivated by personal gains, and he placed money as the main motivator. And money is the only reason why employees would increase productivity or will make employees want to produce more output. So he also introduced the piece rate system, to which he said employees are supposed to be paid off according to the number of output they produce. So that will make them now to want to produce more output in order for them to gain more money. So those who produce more will also earn more. And he also suggested a scientific way of production, the one which is known as the labor division. So he said that labor is supposed to be divided according to the activities that we have in an organization. So for example, if you are in a clothing industry, some will be focusing on sewing the clothes, some will be putting the buttons, some will be putting the collars, some will be ironing. So by doing that, we're going to maximize the output to be produced. It can be a factory where you're producing cars. Some will be focusing on the interior and some the exterior. So by doing that, output can be maximized at all costs. But however, this theory carries some drawbacks, such as the ones to be discussed here. There are various other motivators in the modern workplace. So not only money motivates employees, but there are other factors that you may also consider, like social needs, esteem needs, to be discussed later on. So money alone motivates employees, yes, but to a certain extent. Beyond that, money cannot motivate employees. And also, the system that introduced, the piece rate system, it is okay. It can go on to make employees want to produce more. But in some cases, some organizations or businesses, they provide services. So you may not use such a system to pay your employees because the services cannot be quantified as compared to the goods that other businesses produce. So this system will not work. And also, the moment employees try to produce more output, they will go on to ignore the quality of the products. So that may also affect the brand image if you are going to sell the poor quality products to the customers. They would rather switch to other businesses that are producing better quality products. All right, and then next theory, let's talk about the Hespeck's two-factor theory. So Hespeck introduced this theory, which has got two factors. The first category is known as the hygiene or the maintenance factors, and the second one is known as the motivators. So let's talk about first the hygiene factors. Here now, these ones are simply the basic needs according to Hespeck, and they include status. Every employee wants to have that position of power in the business. That brings also a status. It can be the qualifications that you have. It can be the skills that you have. That may also bring forth a status in a business. And next thing is about security. Employees, they want job security, and that can also be made available through giving them an employment contract. By you knowing that you're going to be working in a particular organization for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, that can give you actually a form of security. Talk about the work conditions, the hours of work. Some places, they actually work from 6 to 6, but there are breaks in between. That makes work to be more enjoyable than for you to work continuously with no breaks and no holidays. Such factors, they need to be considered when it comes to work conditions. And next thing here, we can talk about the company policies and administration. Some policies actually, they tend to favor more the business than the employees themselves. So if only the employers or the owners of the business benefit more, that also demotivates or simply dissatisfy the employees. So try to make policies that also consider the employees' feelings. And also employees, they try by all means to have some good relationships with either their superiors or even their subordinates, if they are the superiors. There should be that good relationship where you are free to communicate without any fear of being judged. That alone actually creates a trust bond, a relationship, and loyalty becomes also improved in such a case. And also, when talk about salary, a fair salary should be paid to the employees. That also improves their motivation. And he also talked about the motivators. In this case here, he defined them actually as those needs that allow the human being to grow psychologically. And they include achievement. So achievement now, it exists when you as a manager set some objectives for your employees. And they should be from simple to complex. The moment they achieve the simple targets, they feel or they have that sense of achievement, and they will want to seek the higher level targets which require more skills and knowledge. So achievement also motivates employees. Talk about recognition. When an employee performs an activity or a task exceptionally, be there to recognize them. Even during a meeting, just go on to call their name and make everyone actually realize that this task was performed by this particular person. That alone, it gives them that level of motivation to want to work harder. And also, we have what we call the personal growth or development. So the moment an employee joins an organization, they would want to grow professionally. So provide that room for them to go on and obtain some degrees or any professional courses that improves their skills and experience at work. That alone, it also motivates as well employees. So do not limit employees when it comes to growth. Talk about promotion. Many employees, they want to rise up the organizational structure when it comes to positions. The moment you join an organization as an accounts clerk, you are looking forward to be the accountant, the finance manager in some years to come. So if there is no room for promotion in the organization, it tends to demotivate the employees. And lastly, the work itself. If the work actually is full of complex tasks which the employee doesn't understand, then it demotivates the employee. So it's a very good thing for an employee who has a particular qualification, the skills or experience to be placed in an area which suits their level of competency. rather than for a manager to place an employee who has more knowledge in marketing in the finance department. That may actually make the employee not to enjoy their job. So according to Hesbeck, the hygiene factors, all these factors here, status, security, work conditions, policies, relationships, and salaries, they are needed, or they need to be satisfied. So they are simply there as satisfiers. But if not, they will act as demotivators to workers. So their presence satisfies the employees, and their absence acts as demotivators. So they don't actually act as motivators, but simply satisfiers. But their absence will automatically demotivate the employees. Whereas the motivators, these ones actually, they truly motivate the workers to want to work more or effectively or to work harder. Right, so they should be made available. But however, their absence will make employees to produce normally. But if you want them to exceed or to go beyond their level of production, provide them with the motivators, and they will improve the level of efficiency and effectiveness. All right, then the next theory that we have, it's known as the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So Maslow actually managed to think about all the areas discussed above, and introduced his theory in a form of a hierarchy. All right, and he actually assumed that employees are going to be motivated, all right, by each level of the hierarchy, going from the bottom to the top, where we find the self-actualization. So as a manager, you need to identify the level that your workers are on and take the necessary action to advance them onto the next level. So let us talk about this hierarchy of needs. The first, or the bottom, at the bottom of the lower level needs here, we have the physiological needs, which includes food, rest, recreation, shelter, clothing, etc. So for these needs to be met, as a manager, you need to provide a fair salary to employees, right? A fair salary or a wage is supposed to be enough for them to meet all these needs. And secondly, we have what we call the safety or security needs, and they include the protection against danger, poverty, and fair treatment. And actually, for them to meet these needs, there should be job security. So an employer or the manager should also provide the employment contract to also improve these security needs. And the next one here, we have the social needs, and they include the friendship, a sense of belonging to a team. So for the manager to meet these needs, they need to provide an environment where the workers work together as a team, or the colleagues are there to support each other. So they may go on to have maybe a uniform with the OEF, they go on to have teamwork, the group works, all those activities, they improve the social needs. And next level here, we have the esteem needs, and they include these points here, like having status and recognition, achievement and independence. And for them to meet these needs here, the manager is supposed to give the recognition for a job well done. So don't let an employee's task that they've done well not noticed. So make sure you go on to recognize their efforts for them to want to work harder next time. And finally, we have what you call the self-actualization. This one here is all about succeeding to your full potential, feeling that you have done a good job, not just for financial and personal reward, but just that self-fulfillment that you have obtained or attained something that you have set or have been set for you. It provides you with the self-actualization needs being met. So as a manager, you need to promote your employees or give them more responsibility. It can be to supervise other employees, or maybe their subordinates, or maybe go on to set some tasks or maybe targets which are simpler, from the simpler to the complex. The moment they achieve those simpler targets, they'll go on to have their needs being met. So promote employees when necessary. Give them more responsibility. That will give them the sense or the self-actualization, afterwards. But however, this theory, yes, is a good thing. It's a good theory to have or to apply in a business organization, but it carries a limitation. This theory does not apply to every worker. Some workers, they have money already. So for you to keep on giving them more money, it won't make sense to them. They will not be motivated. Some people, they have friends already to interact with a lot, but they lack actually job security. So you need to understand each and every employee or worker. Know the needs they lack and try to provide such. But if you wait to meet these needs gradually or from the bottom going to the top, it might not make sense to the other employees who have other needs met already. So try to understand every employee and provide them with what they lack. All right, and next part here, let's talk about the motivating factors. Remember, they come in two forms. They can either be financial or non-financial. So under financial methods, we have the wage, the salary, the bonus, the commission, and the profit sharing. And under the non-financial methods, we have the job enrichment, job rotation, team working, training, and the opportunities for promotion. So let's talk first about the financial factors or rewards. We have the wage. So a wage is simply an hourly, daily, or weekly, or fortnightly payment to employees. It can be either based on the time rate or the piece rate system can be used to calculate the wages. So time rates to begin with, in this case here, we are simply saying the workers or employees are going to be paid based on the number of hours worked. Meaning to say, if you work for more hours, you are going to be paid more. Work for a few hours, you'll be paid less. So it is a good way if you want to encourage workers to stay at work for more hours. But however, that will not determine the output they will produce, as some will simply waste the time on a very few output, as they will simply wait to be paid according to the hours they are available in the workplace. So employees now, they tend to be unproductive because they simply wait to be paid according to the hours. So both workers who are productive and some who are unproductive are going to be paid the same amount, which is not fair, because we tend to not consider their output, but only the hours. So somehow it's not fair to those who are more productive or who are more efficient than the others. And as a result, you may end up having some conflicts happening in this organization. And secondly, we talk about the piece rate system. This one is when the employees are paid based on the number of output produced. So the more output that you produce, the more you get paid. It is a good way of rewarding your employees. Why? Because you will tend to have more output being produced and sold to the customers, and hence more revenue can be received thereafter. But however, your employees' efficiency will be reduced because sometimes they will just force themselves to produce more output, but the quality of the products will be poor. So do not force them to produce more output, but also try to consider a number of factors that will contribute even to the output quality, so that you will not go on to lose your customers by you selling them poor quality goods that will drive them away to your competitors. Thus, the efficient workers may feel demotivated as they are getting the same pay as those who are inefficient, the ones who are producing the poor quality products. And we also have what we call a salary. A salary is simply a fixed monthly or annual payment to employees. And thirdly, we have the commission. It's paid to salesperson based on a percentage of sales they have made. Meaning to say, the more goods you sell, the more you get paid. In some cases, it can be the number of customers that you attract to the business. Then you receive your commission. If you attract less customers, you're also going to receive a lesser commission. So this method is a good method as it encourages you as a salesperson to sell more products and increase the profits of the business. But however, it can be stressful for them because if there are no sales, that means there is going to be no pay at all for them. And next one is a bonus. Bonus is simply an additional amount paid to workers for good work. So normally when the business generates more profits, they tend to appreciate their employees by giving them an extra payment or an additional payment known as a bonus. And another one is the performance-related pay. So this one here, it is based on the performance of the employees. So normally, managers, they conduct what we call a performance appraisal, where they assess employees' effectiveness. And this can be done through interviews, observations, the comments from colleagues or customers, and all those factors are considered for them to measure the employee's performance, and then a pay can be given accordingly. And next one is profit sharing. This is simply a pay scheme whereby a proportion of the company's profits are going to be distributed to workers. And workers, they will be motivated to work better so that a higher profit is made. If there are lower profits made, then you also receive a lower pay or a lower share of profit afterwards. And lastly, we talk about share ownership. A share is simply a percentage of ownership in a company. So some companies, they give or they issue out shares to their employees, especially if you perform well and the companies may fail to give you a better pay or appreciation in terms of cash. they may simply give you some shares to which you receive dividends after every certain period of time. So that will also increase the employees' loyalty to the company and will make them have that sense of belonging to that particular company. And then we have what we call non-financial factors. First category here we talk about are the fringe benefits. They are simply non-financial rewards given to employees. So some companies, they provide their employees, especially those from the top going down, with what we call the fringe benefits. For example, the company vehicle or company car, discount on the firm's products. Some businesses, they produce and sell. So if you as an employee want to buy goods from that particular company you are working at, they may simply say, you are a staff member, so we give you 5% discount from those products that we produce here. And some businesses, they provide also free healthcare for their employees and also their family members. And also some businesses, they also provide or pay for the children's fees, which is a good thing. And some, they also provide free accommodation to their employees, especially if you're an expatriate, you may receive such a benefit. And sometimes it can be free trips abroad or paid holidays. So all these are the forms of fringe benefits employees receive, and mostly they are more at the top than at the lower level of management. And we also have what we call job satisfaction. It is the enjoyment derived from feeling that you have done a good job. So the moment you achieve the set objectives, it gives you that enjoyment that is defined as job satisfaction. So employees, they have different ideas about what motivates them. It could be pay, it could be the promotion opportunities, the team involvement, relationships, responsibilities, the chances of training, the working hours, the status, etc. There are a number of reasons why you want to work. But the moment you get what you want, then the result is job satisfaction. And then the next factor here is job rotation. It involves workers swapping around and doing each specific task for only a limited time, changing around again. So this increases the variety in the work itself, and will also make it easier for managers to move around workers to do their jobs. And if somebody is ill or absent, you can be there as well to cover up for them. So the tasks themselves are not made more interesting, but that switching of tasks may avoid boredom among workers. So probably today you'll be teaching business studies, tomorrow you'll be teaching maybe history, tomorrow you'll be teaching maybe economics, and next day accounting. So that actually, it makes the job to be more interesting because you tend to gain skills and knowledge in performing various activities or tasks in the organization. And then next factor here is job enlargement. This is where extra tasks of a similar level of work are added to a worker's job description. And these tasks will not add greater responsibility or work for the employee, but they will simply make the work to become more interesting. For example, a worker can be hired to stock shelves. They will now, as a result of job enlargement, arrange stock on shelves or they may go on to label the stock or fetch the stock. So it's simply making the work more interesting by adding some extra tasks which are related to what you are already performing in the organization. Then we have what we call job enrichment. This involves looking at jobs and adding tasks that require more skill and or responsibility. So this gives employees a sense of trust from senior management and motivate them to carry out the extra tasks effectively. And some additional training may also be given to the employee to do so. For example, a manager may delegate some of his activities or tasks to their subordinates. So if you are going to be performing a higher level task, that means you also require more skills and you'll be also having more responsibility in the organization. And the manager may go on to train you on how to perform that higher level task. So that alone, it makes you have a sense of trust from the senior management, especially if you are going to perform that particular task effectively. It may place you in a position where you can be promoted in the case of the manager resigning. And then our next one here is autonomous work groups, or simply team working. It is where the worker is given a responsibility for a particular process, product, or development, and they should work in a team in as much as you're performing your role, but you are working with others as a team. So the workers will take part in making the decisions, taking the responsibility for the process, and it gives them more control over their work, and thus a sense of commitment, which leads to an increase in job satisfaction. So the moment you work together as a group, it will also help to boost the employees' morale and fulfill their social needs, which in turn leads to job satisfaction, because it will be your thing or your product as a team. All right, and lastly here we have the opportunities for training. Employees, they should be trained constantly because the environment we are living in is dynamic, it's ever-changing. Nowadays, employees are using various technologies. So if you want to introduce such in your organization, make sure you provide training to your employees for them to be able to use such technologies effectively. So it provides them as well with opportunities for personal growth and development. And in turn, they will be satisfied with their job. And also, opportunities for promotion. Workers, they also want to be promoted, especially if they have the right skills, qualifications, and experience. And the moment there is a vacancy in the organization, it will be a good thing for you to recognize those employees down there who have the right skills for the position to be promoted to such a position. So that will also make them to have the sense of self-actualization and job satisfaction. All right, so that's all about the non-financial factors. And lastly, I would love to thank you very much for listening. And if there are any areas that you feel like you want to hear more from me, feel free to send me a message through my email shown on the screen. I'll see you in our next video. Ciao.